here, and Sky Dog. I hope you're ready for your next upcycling class. Today we're going to be mending a pair of pants of my kids that got a hole in the knee. I don't know about you, but if you have a child like mine, you end up with leggings with holes in them all the time. If you look here, put my hand in there, you can see she did a good old rip in there. I don't know how she did it, but we are going to transform this into something beautiful. What you're going to need today is you are going to need scissors, of course. You're going to need some chalk, believe it or not. I don't have the special chalk that you use if you're a seamstress. What I have is kids' chalk, and maybe some of you guys have this too if you have children around. And we're going to try using that today and see how that works. And then you're going to need a little bit of a stencil. I created this stencil of a star, and I cut it out of a Kleenex box. And that is what we are going to transform that ugly hole into today. And then you're going to need some needle and thread. I have two different kinds. I have just a regular thin thread, and then I actually have embroidery thread. I don't know which one's going to work best today, so we're going to check it out and experiment and see which one we think might be best. And then you're going to need another piece of fabric to put underneath where the hole is. What we're going to do is turn that hole into the shape of a star and then have this shine through. If you recognize this fabric, this is what I made a face mask with the last time we talked. So recycling or upcycling this fabric. So the first thing you need to do is take these leggings with the hole and turn them inside out. Whoops. All right. Turn them inside out. And then I want you to lay them down with the hole facing out. So as you can see, the hole is right here. I'm going to fold this one over so we don't even look at it. The hole is right here. I'm going to put my hand through it again. There you go. And what we're going to do is I want you to lay the stencil that you made beforehand, and I want you to lay it out over the hole. So you might have to move the fabric around a little bit to get it to fit the right way. Let's try this. And you're going to flatten the fabric out and lay your stencil on it. And make sure that the rip fits inside the stencil. So the rip right here is like that. What I'm going to do then is use the chalk, and I'm going to color on this black fabric around on the edge of the stencil. So that way I know where to cut. So I'm going to do that right now, and then I'll try to hold it up and see if it worked and show you guys. If you have a lighter color fabric, then you can use a different color chalk. You just want to use a contrast color that will show, and that way you know where to cut. All right, let's see if it worked. Ooh, look at that. So you can see? If I hold it up close. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut along that outline, and then what I'm going to do is sew this other piece of fabric. I'm going to cut it and sew it so that it shines through to the other side. So I think what I'm going to do is probably take a break and do this on my own and then show you what it looks like on the other end. So see you on the other side. Hi, I'm back, and that was harder than I thought. So the problem is that leggings and the t-shirt were really stretchy material. Let me show you how it came out. So here are the pants, and this is the patch. So I chose to use the embroidery thread for a thicker thread, and I used a contrasting color. I think, and how I did it was I actually pinned, if I show you the back side of this, I pinned that fabric to the back of it and then sewed it. It's not as pretty on the back. If I had to do this again, because I kind of wanted to tear my hair out while I was doing it, I think instead of pinning, I would have used this fabric glue that I got at Walmart before the pandemic came. And I think I would have glued it on and let it sit for a bit, stick, and then I would have sewed it because, whew, it was a bit of a trauma. But what I wanted to point out was that we're getting to something new. It's called obvious mending, and you may have heard of it before, with these contrasting stitches and actually mending so that it's obvious like that. It's got a certain name. It's called sashiko or sashiko burrow stitching. It's a Japanese technique. And there's a couple books that I wanted to show you. Before the pandemic came, I took out a lot of books out of the library on upcycling, and one of them was this. It was called Make and Mend, and this is from the Groton Public Library, but the Mystic No Ink Library, I think, just purchased it as well. And in here, it actually has an example of what I did for you today. You can see it shows basically the same thing that we did today. And this is a very simple sashiko or obvious mending stitch. There's quite a few other books that are similar. This one is called Sashiko itself, and you can see some of this glorious mending. You may have seen this before and not even realized it. And in the back, it shows a bunch of different of the types of patterns that you can use for stitching. I mean, that's just a few. It's kind of glossy pages, but I mean, it's hard to see. But you can really make some beautiful things with this. Trying to think. This is somebody's change purse with some of those stitchings. I liked in here, I love the obvious stitching. On the back you can see, I hope to do this with my jeans, this obvious mending. And so I just wanted to introduce you to a new type of upcycling, and what I want you to do is go Google Sashiko. So it's S-A-C-H-I-K-O. And sometimes it's referred to Sashiko Burrow, which is B-O-R-O. I want you to look it up and see if you can mend anything. And if you make it better than it already was, then it's called upcycling. So good luck. See ya. Bye.